councils, when they tender, they don't have to go by price only. There's a sort of myth that is true. It's not true. So they can set the tender requirements and weight it how they want and get best value for money. And if value for money for them is sustainability, then that helps us to win contracts because we are the most sustainable.
It's difficult for a social enterprise to go straight in at that level, but what we did, we started with, contracts working sort of in partnership with the Environment Agency in quite a sort of protected environment and small contracts for local landowners. And it just enabled us to build our resources, our expertise, our systems and make quite small changes all along the way. That's got us to the sort of stage we are now. I think it's increasingly a challenge for social enterprises to take a long look at themselves and reflect on what the added value is that they offer as opposed to a traditional business. I think for us, if it was a traditional contractor coming in, they would come in, do the work and leave, and it would, they do the work to a high standard, but that would be it. Whereas, we're taking a sort of placekeeping approach to that. We've worked on this section of river for the last 4 to 5 years. We're looking at how we can develop river stewardship upstream so some of the problems don't then wash down into the big area. It's that kind of long-term, custodian approach.
We have a growing site, which is where we are now, so it's a 12-acre ex-council nursery site. So we grow produce to sell into our own box scheme. We also sell our produce to cafes and restaurants. We run training programs and volunteering programs. So we have about 150 volunteers a year actively involved on this site. And then we also are involved in a number of other sites, usually with partners who've got some other land. So schools, housing associations, health centres. So there's an additional hundreds of people involved in those activities as well.
Roche Woodlanders is trying to combine a new approach to community involvement in managing public forest with getting greater social impact and social benefit from involving members of the community. We want to found a social enterprise on the well-being benefits of people spending time in the forest, while also using that time to ensure that the forest itself is in better heart.
When dealing with the local authority, you need to build up a relationship. You need to see them as a partner organisation. You need to get them on board with your project. There are also distinct parties within the local authority, officers and elected members. They are different, they have different attitudes. You need to work out what those are before you start communicating with them, and you need to, most importantly, know what your social return is for the asset you're asking for. They will have sites and buildings that are liabilities to them that they want to get rid of, but there are also other stuff that that isn't a liability to them that they want to keep. So you've got to remember always, what are you going to give them for them giving you something?
The land before it was developed was overgrown, it was wasteland, it was basically doing nothing.
What you need to be showing them though, if that asset has a value, is what the social return is going to be outweighing that. So if you want them to give it you for £1 or at a reduced cost, you need to show that they're getting more benefit out of it than they're giving to you.
The benefits that Saffron Acres have given to that land and to the local community. Obviously the land has been cleared and local youth have been involved with this ever since and thoroughly enjoy it.
So our project is putting £10 million worth of new investment back into the community, 68 social homes, that's 68 families that are housed. The food growing project is working with young people. You've got to sell them all the positive elements that they're getting out of it.
As a small, flexible organisation, we've got the ability to innovate. From a council perspective, in a large bureaucracy, the scope to think like that is limited. So I think it feels like a bit of a breath of fresh air to them when they can engage with us and start to deliver things. We're now in a situation where the council has got quite a lot of confidence in us, to the point where they, in the last few years, have been specifically talking about a food strategy. I suppose as a trusted partner, they've turned to us for advice. They very much see us as the experts. Establish some good contacts, get a relationship of trust there where they understand what you're trying to do and they believe that you can do it, be realistic. And I think the key thing is to offer them solutions to problems rather than be another problem.